system is unsustainable!
Demand 2!
We are all ethnicities, backgrounds, genders, generations, sexualities, disabilities and faiths. We stand together! 3! We refuse to pay for the bank's crisis!
It was in the early years of the third millennium that a crusade of holy protest set forth to seize and subjugate its holy Zion, a bastion to be taken back from the infidels, a place known by most as the London Stock Exchange. In October 2011, this army of protesters descended to occupy all the enemy ground. The activists had been promised a triumphant march to this Jerusalem, but were beaten back by force of arms to a stockade in St. Paul's Churchyard. This now secured its position as an encampment of protest, a third crusade that soon became known simply as Occupy London.
We stand in solidarity with the global oppressed!
We present The Talisman by Walter Scott, adapted for radio by Jonathan Myerson.
Democracy looks like! Come and join us!
Yet as Christmas passed and winter drew in, a truce had been called with the infidel enemy, both sides now awaiting the ruling of the High Court with regard to the judicial proceedings which would pronounce the matter as victory or defeat. The infidel bankers sought to force the camp from its lands, their chief weapon, the eviction order. The activists fought to repel each stage of this advance, deploying battalions of pro bono lawyers. Betwixt them stood the cathedral, friend to both sides, trusted by neither. But by January of 2012, the Occupy camp was besieged by daily clouds of police and bailiffs, resembling swarms of wasps with stings to inflict harm and mischief.
We've got warrants here. Everyone up and out!
What's going on?
Everyone up, everyone out!
You got no right to do this!
We have reason to believe there are contraband substances being concealed here.
But you searched last week and the week before.
As the army of occupiers decreased, the enterprises of the City of London Corporation became more bold in this species of petty warfare.
Back off!
On the night ourselves, sunshine!
What's your ground?
Being a hippie crusty, how about that?
Gonna have to try a whole lot harder than that, Fed. Go on, have another go.
Devo, stop it, it's what they want.
Right, boys, we've been told to remove all the banners. We have instructions under the Town and Country Planning Act 1990 to remove all fascias or advertising hoardings which are subject to planning permission.
You touch them, your history.
God, that was poverty, love.
Very funny.
Bailiffs will remove the offending items. All police units stand in support.
Human wall!
Human wall!
Everyone, come on! Human wall!
The bailiff's target was a small railinged enclosure, round which were lashed the banners of protest, largely obscuring the statue of Queen Anne inside. This was the holy centre for the occupiers, the home of the Banner of 10 Demands. The protester army was being pushed from the field, and if the corporation bailiffs took possession of the banners, their fighting heart would be ripped asunder. Yet the superior weight of the Metropolitan Police Service seemed too great to withstand, until...
Let me help. Here.
Oh, thanks. Oh, get in here, just push.
Come on. Heave. 1, 2, 3. Heave. 1, 2, 3. Heave.
Done this before?
Only at the Highland Games. Heave. Heave.
Have I seen you round here?
No, but I've been thinking about coming along, but I didn't really know how at all yet.
Welcome.
Thank you. Does this happen a lot?
Every protest I've ever been on.
Well, you've done a few.
Lifetime's work.
Cool. My name's Kenneth. Kenny.
Edie.
Would you, but this is also complicated. I want to get involved, but I don't, would you show me how things work?
Sure, of course. Shall we maybe get rid of these coppers first?
Deal. Heave! Everyone, on my count. 1, 2, 3, heave!
And so the young knight left his distant northern home and joined the host of Occupy London, the great crusade against wealth and privilege. He pitched his solitary tent on the edge of St. Paul's Churchyard with his wolfhound Roswell as his only...
Shh! You're not supposed to be here.
His only companion. It was Kenneth's first taste of direct action, and he knew he had much to learn and spurs still to win among the movement. But more than that, what he now most desired to win was the regard of Edith, the activist he had met that first night. His heart was taken.
Hi there! Settled in all right?
Yes, right. Hello.
See ya!
His heart was taken from that moment onward. But he knew his suit was unworthy. He sought counsel from her friend Bernie.
Do you think she... do you... Look, if I asked her...
Edie.
It's just that every time she seems to be so busy and I shouldn't even ask.
Edith was protester nobility, the veteran of 100 demos, sit-ins and kettlings. As an apprentice, Kenneth knew he had barely the right to even gaze upon her.
There is something you could do.
Yes.
There's a letter, special documents. We need someone to run it over to the cathedral. I'll watch your dog.
St. Paul's?
It's not going to be the Vatican, is it?
No. Right. Yes. Sure, no sweat. What is it, this letter?
It's a proposal, a plan. There's some of us. Well, we know the camp has to come to an end.
What?
We're going to lose the legal proceedings. This week, next month.
Oh, they'll have to force us out first. We will fight to the bitter end.
Better to go with dignity. This way, we get something out of it.
Like?
Well, that's where St. Paul's comes in. Maybe we can get a permanent presence there.
What, a camp inside
A marquee, something like that. And one of the holies in there, he's trying to swing it for us.
Okay.
Here's the letter. For him. Only him.
There's people against this, isn't there? That's why you can't go in there yourself, right?
Rick. He's dead against it.
Rick? Your boyfriend, Rick?
We're on a break, actually.
You're doing this behind his back?
He wants to fight to the end. He wants to win.
What's wrong with that?
We're going to lose. He has to come to terms with that. Right, here. Take it to Canon Gillespie, okay?
Right. Stay, Roswell.
The bright January moon had not yet attained its highest point in the horizon as our knight-errant paced defiantly across the wastelands which lay north of their camp, or, as it is locally known, Paternoster Square. However, our young hero was also tortured by needful hunger. He opted to break his journey at a nearby oasis, called in the native tongue Pret a Manger, on Cheapside. But as he crossed New Change, he saw a figure moving from his left, looking to impede his path. In the desert, saith the Eastern proverb, no man meets a friend.
Hey! You! You with the hair! Where are you off to?
Please, look, we don't need to get into any...
You lot are supposed to be over there.
Oh, so you're saying that St. Paul's does belong to us?
This land is private land, and all license to enter is revoked.
Look, we don't need to do this.
You lot stay over there in your tents and benders and your benders. That's the word for the lot of you.
Like a hawk attacking a heron, the heathen swooped. But with a strong hand and unerring aim, the Scotsman struck back. The violence of the blow struck the banker, for such he was, and though his aqua sputum contributed to deaden its violence, the financier was shaken. He found himself suddenly within the other's grasp. Now, seeing his Rolex endangered, this disadvantage inclined him to a truce.
All right. Shall we let it go?
Why should I trust you?
A gentleman's word is his bond.
That's a nasty cut you've got there.
I'm bleeding?
Here. Put this against it. Look, it's okay. We use the washing machines down at LSE.
Thanks.
Where did a toff like you learn to fight like that?
Things can get rough in the collateralized debt market.
Kenneth, by the way. Kenny McCrouch. Hakeem. What? Something, Hakeem, something?
Hakeem's fine.
You gonna be all right at work with that keeker?
It's a badge of honor on the trading floor.
Right, well then, you owe me.
McDonald's? Or Burger King down at Aldgate?
It's chucking out time at Pret. free, Nosh. Come on.
And so the two enemies sat to take their repast, banker and protester now bonded by their skirmish. The meal of the capitalist was abstemious. A curling egg on rye sufficed, and a few draughts from the drinking fountain by which they reposed. That of the activist was a chicken avocado with British chicken, whole leaf basil, and a yoghurt mayo dressing. Nary a single moon passed its sell-by. Yet the Scot fed with more display of appetite and satisfaction than the banker judged becoming.
Do you have to scarf it down like a dog? Actually, not even a dog would eat that.
You need to meet my dog.
It was a metaphor.
And so's this, mate. This sandwich. Look at it. It's a sodden great symbol of waste, overproduction and greed.
The only greed I'm seeing is yours. Quite.
Oh, my dear. Terribly, terribly. Pass the cucumber trifle, Fauntleroy.
My dad came over here from Kurdistan. A qualified engineer. He worked all his life as a bus driver.
There's nothing wrong with driving a bus.
The two men were of entirely opposing beliefs, and yet they found the respect to converse.
The whole thing, the whole fabric, it's all built on debt. That's all you guys trade in. You sell our debts to each other and then gamble on how much we'll pay back before we all die.
So people shouldn't get to borrow money? For a new car, a new house, their kids' education?
Ugh, the whole model is flawed.
Got a better one?
We're working it out.
I see you there, outside St. Paul's, talking and talking and talking.
That's right.
And talking.
Genuine democracy's a bit scary, isn't it?
And what have you come up with so far?
You want all this in 3 weeks? A whole new way of running the world?
You're the guys who say it has to change. I'm happy the way things are.
And your relatives back in Kurdistan? How did Saddam pay for his mustard gas? You guys lent him the money. $1 billion credit guarantees, paid for by trading in collateralised debt from British mortgages and British students.
All the big words.
Well, these words run our lives now, and I've had to learn.
What were you doing out here anyway?
Oh, Christ! I've got to deliver something. Some galoot in the cathedral. Here. It's, Canon Theodore Gillespie. What a name.
Why didn't you show me this before?
Because you came straight at me. Fists first.
He's all right, Gillespie.
You know him?
He's ex-Special Forces.
For real?
And opened the bowling for Sussex Seconds. 8 for 19 against MCC at Arundel.
Christ's sake. You're the full English now, aren't you?
An electrical shock of anger thrilled through the Kurd. But it was only momentary, and the calmness of his reply had both dignity and reason in it.
Come on, let me show you the way. You'll never find it otherwise.
As they advanced down into the bowels of the cathedral, into the gloomy recesses of Wren's masterpiece, the Scot was struck with mysterious dread.
Jesus, all these tunnels and rooms.
Mustn't blaspheme, not in God's holiest house.
Oh, God's biggest, look at the size of mine house, you mean?
Bigger doesn't mean less holy.
So speaks the banker.
Right! Gotcha! I call the police! Hands up, you beggars!
The figure, a tall man clothed largely in undergarments and wielding his gun and moor twin scoop, sprang into their path and flung himself upon the Kurd. He wreathed his long arms above those of his struggling prisoner.
Theo, for God's sake, get off me! It's me, Hakim! I don't want to hurt you!
Bloody beggars! I'm bloody damn sick to death of you coming in here and...
Kenny, please! Get him off me! Quick!
Mr. Gillespie, Vicar, here, look, they said you were expecting a letter.
Hakim, what was that?
Yes!
Why didn't you say? It is you. How are things?
He arose himself, and suffering the banker to rise also, relinquished his cricket bat.
I respect men of religion, you know that, Theo. But do that again and I'll knock your shaggy head off your shaggy bloody shoulders. And you could have moved a bit quicker.
A letter. Now, did someone mention a letter?
Me, here.
Who the blazes are you?
Kenny McCrouch.
Thank you.
The letter, Bernie said to wait for a reply?
Yes, quite. Yes. Follow me. Must find my glasses.
I'll leave it to you then.
Oh, yes, right, and thanks. And
The banker turned and made his way out.
Keep it real.
This way. Do keep up.
The priest who now guided him through the passageways of the cathedral was one who seemed born to rule over men, but who had abdicated his empire to become the servant of heaven.
Shush. Shush. We need to tiptoe through this little chapel. Might be people praying. They come in here at all hours. Shush now.
Sure.
Shush. Edie. Shush, man. Didn't you hear me?
Kenny?
What are you doing here?
It's just sometimes no one knows I'm here.
We really shouldn't be. This isn't the place for...
Were you praying?
Don't tell anyone.
It's okay, I would never.
I went to my school, a convent. Sometimes when things are bad...
I say, do you two know each other?
That's really... I mean, well, I can see that you... I can totally see that you...
As ever, confronted with the joy of his heart, his tongue was stilled.
What I mean is... are things bad?
It's Rick. He has this spine thing. He's in such pain.
I haven't seen him around for...
He's laid up, totally out of action. But, he won't give up.
If you would help, I'd be happy to do you a quick psalm. I don't know. What about, why do the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth rise up and... Oh, good Lord. My penance.
Penance?
It's the Bishop of London. I must scourge myself. Excuse me. My Lord Bishop.
Maybe I should, be going anyway.
Oh, if you... I'll catch you in the tea tent, or somewhere.
Sure, that would be yes. Tea. Right.
This narrative, tedious perhaps, but which the story renders necessary, may serve to explain the state of affairs betwixt the two. In short, Edith's unexpected appearance in the chapel produced, as ever, a powerful effect on this young Scotsman. The scene must now change, as our programme has announced, from the undercrypt of St. Paul's to the camp outside. At its beating heart lay its self-proclaimed leader, in all but name, Rick, a man of lion-hearted resolution and restless activity. Rick, their spokesman, the organiser, the speechmaker, the...
Oh, my God, I can't move a muscle.
The man with serious sciatica.
Why don't you go home? Get a decent night's rest.
Alongside him, his lifelong companion in arms,